Hello, and thank you for joining our webinar today. My name is Laura, and I've been helping small businesses to create their websites with Yola for 4 years now. I'm excited to show you the basics of editing your website and to introduce you to some new features we've recently released. Let's talk about why having a website is important. You're here because you know it's crucial for your business to be online where your customers can find you easily. When you are online, your website is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which means you don't have to be. It enables you to communicate with customers and, more importantly, opens up an avenue for them to reach out and communicate with you. Websites are also instrumental in helping to identify new business opportunities. Let's get started. As I'm sure you're all familiar, this is the Yola homepage, and we're going to log into our account. This is Zeke Designs. Zeke has an interior design business, and we're going to create a website for his business today. In this session, we'll cover everything you need to know to build this website. We'll head back here, and now we'll log into our account. When we log in, we're taken to our My Yola dashboard. Here you can manage your account. We're using a gold account today. You'd see slightly different options if you were using a free bronze or silver account. We have some site traffic abilities. You can purchase and manage your domain here, as well as email or online store. You can choose to edit any existing websites that you already have. And again, you'll see advanced features here because I'm using the gold account, such as publishing to Facebook and mobile publishing, all of which we'll cover a little bit later. We're going to build a new site from scratch. So instead of going into edit this site, we're going to create a new one. We're being taken into the site builder where we'll create our site. So since we're building a website for Zeke, we're going to put our business name as Zeke Designs. From here, you can select any of the categories that you think best suits your business. If you don't feel like any of these suit your business or what you're starting your website for, you can also just select Start with a blank page and build it. But we're going to select Home Decor for our purposes today. The first thing that the site builder asks you to do is enter in your address. If you don't have an address that you want to promote through your website, say you don't have a physical storefront or you don't have a business office, you can skip this step and go to Save and Edit My Site. But Zeke does have a storefront, so we're going to enter in his address. The phone number is also optional. If you have a phone number that you want to promote through your business, this is a great place to add it. One nice thing about entering in the business information here is it will be populated in relevant places throughout your site, which I'll show you once our site builder loads. We're going to select to Save and Edit My Site, and we'll get started. Okay, so now we're in Zeke's site. And the first thing we're going to do is add our phone number here to our site tagline. This can be your business motto or anything you want people to know about your website right away. We also want to make sure that this phone number appears in all of the pages on our website, so we're going to make sure to click Apply Page Heading to all pages. If you have something that if you want to change your tagline for every page, you can leave this blank and you can create a different tagline for each and every page on your website, but we're going to apply it to all of our pages. And now you can see we've got our business name and our phone number as the first things customers see when they'll open up our website. Now we're going to take a look at our Style Designer. Our Style Designer is a pretty recently released tool that we are just in love with because it lets you customize everything about your site with just a few clicks using this really handy panel, and it'll apply all of the designs that we select will apply to your entire website. So you no longer have to make changes in each and every text widget or go and make custom HTML that you apply to every page. You can now do it all from this panel here. So the first thing we want to show you today are all of the different versatile looks that you can get just with the click of a couple of different themes. So by clicking through these different themes, these are all pre-designed sites that you see. We can really see a vast difference. It changes everything from the background to the colors to our font designs, and it really starts to give you an idea of what these designs can look like. We're going to go back to the basics here because we've got all of our own customizations that we're going to do today. You can also do the same changes by selecting different font families. This also applies to all of the font in your entire website and really gives a unified feeling throughout your site. We're going to use Nixie 1 and Open Sans for our purposes today. Now we're going to start customizing this. We're going to upload our own background image, which is really going to start making our site come together. So I'm going to background image and edit, and from here, if I already had images uploaded into my file manager, I could select those, or I could select stock images. Because I'm using Yola Gold, and Yola Silver members would have this as well. There's a lot of free stock photography that you can select from here, or these stock images are through our partner Fotolia, and you would be able to use these by buying credits. We're going to use our own files though. So I'm going to go to Upload File and select our background image. Next, what we're going to do is head over here to the foreground color. And as you'll see, you could actually change all of the colors here. But what we want to do is let our background show through. So we've changed the opacity to 0%. And I actually am going to do that in my banner image as well. If you know the exact percentage you want, you can, or the color that you want, you can enter that here with a color code, or you can use our sliders to select different colors. So if we were going to change our opacity here and add in different colors, that would all be applied using these sliders. So now we can see our background through, which is exactly what we wanted to do. There's a couple of other things we can do to customize things here. We're going to go to our navigation, and we're going to change the color of it. This is the orange color that we saw in the preview site, and we're going to use it a lot throughout, so I'm actually going to copy it to my clipboard so that we can use it throughout. So now you see that's changed the Contact Us from that white color to a nice orange color. And now we're going to make some changes to the size. So we're scrolling down here to fonts and then navigation, and we want to change the font size. We're going to make it a little bit smaller, and again, if you know the size that you want, you can enter that right down here in the pixels, or you can actually use the slider. We wanted to make ours just a little bit smaller. But we still want it to stand out a little bit more, so we're actually going to use the text transform and select to make it all capitalized. Sorry, rather uppercase. We can add that orange to a few other places here in our navigation. So now when you scroll over, I've changed the hover colors so that when you are scrolling over, it'll change to orange on scroll. And the other thing that I've done here is I actually just selected the navigation area so that I can see everything that I can update just within my navigation area. We want to go ahead and keep our navigation background black, and our navigation selected will keep white. This also would allow us to change the navigation font, which we've already done, and change the spacing. I think we're happy with what we've done. So we're going to go back to all properties and we'll see everything that we can do from here. We're going to scroll down to our footer and we'll make some changes here as well. We want to see our background image through, so we're changing the opacity to 0% just like we did above, and now you see that we can see our full image. We can decide whether or not we want to display the social buttons that are here by default, our tweet, like, and our +1, or we can leave them visible. We'll go back to all properties. And let's start adding some content. Sorry, I'm actually jumping around a little bit here. It's asking if I want to save these changes because I started to leave the style designer. We will go ahead and save the changes that we've made so far. And then we can come back here and we can start adding some text. Okay, so let's add some personalized text for Zeke. Now we've added some text, but we want to go back to our style designer. And we want to make it stand out by adding more of that orange color. So I'm actually going to just go through the list here and make some more changes. So right now we're using our second header. And we've added the orange to it. And we're going to do the same thing for our third header. This is going to give a consistent look and feel for our text throughout the site. Now you see that we've added it for this text as well. Let's go ahead and do it for our links. And now we'll go back to the font size just like we did before, and we'll make some changes to the sizing here. We want it to stand out, so we're going to make it a little bit bigger. And we're going to do that for our third header as well. We'll just use the slider till it looks good. That looks great. Now we're going to change our tagline to make it stand out a little bit as well. You see that's gotten larger. Okay, now that's looking better. Last thing we're going to do in our style editor is add a custom logo. Using this style, we could upload our own background image, but we're using, which we've done, or you can upload your own banner image. We're going to do our logo. And we're going to need to upload this from our computer, just like we did our background image. Hopefully you have your own logo ready and waiting. You see that really makes the site come together and it looks instantly personalized. We're going to save these changes. And now since we're going to add some more text, I've actually just opened up a little tool that I'm going to use so you don't have to watch me type everything. Let's go ahead and start playing around with our widgets. So now that we've exited out of the Style Designer, which again I access through this Painter's palette or by selecting certain items that I want to customize, now we've got access to our Widgets tab. Let's go ahead and add a picture. I'm going to drag and drop it to our site. having a little trouble placing exactly where I want it to go. There it goes. And we're going to select our homepage image. You'll see here, this little red box allows us to resize the image to fit our site. We want it to go all the way to the edge. Now within the picture editor, we have a lot of options that we can do. We can choose to make it an image link by adding a URL here. By choosing a link, we can send it to another page in our website or link it somewhere else, and that'll make the picture a clickable link. The other thing we can do is add alternative text, which helps it, which is something that the website search engines use to help show our sites in Google search, as well as all the other search engines. So we're going to call this office design. We can also edit our margins here, or edit with Aviary, which allows us to change images, proportions, or add filters to it within our online image editor, or we can choose to align it differently within our site, center it, or right align it. We've made it take up the entire space of the site, so we're leaving that alone. You can also choose whether or not to optimize your image, which makes your page load faster. We're going to leave that enabled as well, since this is a sort of large image. Here on the margins, we're going to add a little bit of padding. This just creates a little bit of space between all of our image up here, our text up here. Now we're going to add a text widget and bring it down to below our picture here. And again, I mentioned that I had opened up a tool earlier so that you wouldn't have to watch me type. What I did here is I started typing, and it basically added plain text for all of the text that we wanted to add. What's important about this is it's not adding text that I've copied and pasted from, say, Microsoft Word or another text editor, because that can bring along a lot of unwanted code in your site. We do our best to strip out all that unwanted code and have it render exactly how you want it to look by the choices that you made in your style designer. However, it's really important that you use plain text, and so either bringing it in from a text editor, a plain text editor, or typing directly into your site is the best way to go to make sure that all of the settings that you've created in your style designer over here are reflected in your text. So now we're going to go ahead and delete some of this content here because we're going to build all of this from scratch. One thing I will leave is this widget here. This is our horizontal line image, or line widget. I'm not going to drag it to the site because it's already here, but I am going to go into edit so that we can take a look at the different things we can do. This line is a great way to break up text and to just create a break for your eyes. Really helps define the space. We're going to keep it nice and thin and do a dotted line, but we are going to go ahead and change the color. I know the color that we want to use, so I'm just entering it in, but you can also select from any of these color palettes here, or you can enter in your own code. Go ahead and save that, and we'll see the changes. It might be just a little bit too light. Let's go ahead and select this darker gray. There we go. Okay, and so the next thing we're going to do is add in a column divider widget. Our column divider widget is an excellent tool. It allows you to create spaces within one area of your site when you don't want everything to go all the way across as we've done so far, spanning from left to right. You can add in multiple column divider widgets, and then you can slide around to get just the right spacing that you want. We're going to add an image over here on this side, and we're going to add text on this side. So I think we'll slide it to right about here, and we can always change it if we need to. I'm going to drag a picture widget over to this side of my column divider widget, and we're going to upload a new image. And I'll go ahead and resize this as we talked about earlier. And I'll go here and we'll add our alternative text. We'll call this Paint Palettes. And we'll leave everything how it is. And we're going to add a little margin up here to the top of our widget to give us a little bit of space, just like we did before. And now we'll go ahead and add some more text to describe a little bit more about our business. So we want timeless design to stand out. So we're going to change the type of heading it is and use our heading 3, which we'd already done earlier, and set up to be the same orange color. And I think we actually need to make this a little bit smaller and pad our margin just a little bit here. Great. And the next widget I want to show you is our custom panel widget. We're going to drag this right underneath. Our custom panel widget allows us to create another space to give eyes a break and to more easily pick up content. And for our purposes, we're going to use this for our call to action. What we want people to do once they've read through what we have to offer is call us for a consultation. So we want to draw attention to this using the custom panel widget. Again, you can go click through and select any of the presets that we have, just like we've showed you in the Style Designer, how you can do that with your design. You can also do this with the custom panel widget. We're going to go ahead and customize one. We're going to go to the background, and we want to change it to the light gray color that we were using for the horizontal line widget. And we are not going to use any gradient, so we're going to leave that empty. And we also want to remove all the borders here. Again, you can do this individually to really have a more defined box, or you can just have this be a gray area by removing it completely, which is what we're doing. Same thing goes for corners. It's a little bit hard to see with this light gray, but if I round the corners all the way, you can actually have a circle, or you can keep it as a nice straight edge, no border radius for our squares that we're looking for. We're not going to add any shadow or spacing, but those are both options. And the last thing is that in the font section, we want all of our Style Designer changes to be applied. So we're actually removing all of the default font information and using our style default. That's a really important step if you want everything that you did in your Style Designer to go through to your to the custom panel widget as well. One other thing I do want to do actually is in the margin for our custom panel, I want it to go span the entire site. So we're actually going to remove all the margins completely, which I can do easily by using the slider. Okay, and we're also going to use our column divider widget here. And now we're going to add our call to action text. And we're going to change this as well to our third heading. And will give us just a little bit more space. We just have a little bit more text to add here to tell our users why they should be calling Zeke, what he has to offer. And we can remove this last widget. And we have a pretty nice looking home page. We definitely have an extra text widget here that I must have added at one point. Let's get rid of that. And we'll take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. We'll save our work. And we can head over and make some changes to our Contact Us page as well. I just realized I missed a very important part of our home page. So we're going to head back to the home page before we start on the Contact Us. And I've created the text, but I didn't ever give them away to Contact Us. So we're going to Contact Us to schedule an initial consultation. And we're going to use our link editor here in our toolbar. And we actually just want this to link to our Contact Us page, which we're going to build next. And because we'd already set it in the Style Designer, you see it's got that great orange color when we go to, when you see the link and when you click it, it'll take us directly to, in fact, we'll go ahead and just do that. We'll take us directly into our, we'll save those and then it'll take us directly into our Contact Us page. Seem to be having some trouble getting around today. Has that ever happened to you guys? Okay, so now we want to edit our Contact Us page. And it looks like one of the first things that I need to do is add our background again, because I must not have applied it to all pages when I did my background image. Or it looks like what I probably did was forgot to save it. So we need to add that again. Luckily, since we've already uploaded it, it's right here. And now it's asking us to apply the changes to all of these pages. Not sure how I missed that before, but now we should have it on our Contact Us page as well as our home page. Okay, so our Contact Us page has some information already here. As I mentioned, when I put in our address, that it would be populated on our site automatically. It's populated here in our Contact Us section, and it's also right here on our footer, which we looked at earlier. So we don't need to make any changes to that, although you could. If you put it in incorrectly, you would just edit it like you would edit any text information. What we do want to take a look at is our map. It's great that our map is already set here to our business address, but I'd like to zoom in a little bit more so people really get a feel for where we are. I've zoomed in and I'm going to save that. And I'm also going to edit to add a little bit of spacing. So I'll go to our settings. And next we're going to use another column divider, or sorry, not a column divider, a custom panel widget to have our Contact Us form really stand out. We're going to customize it just like we customized the other one. We're going to remove the border. We're going to sharpen the corners, and we're going to remove all the default font. Now we can just drop our Contact Us widget right into there. We'll just drag it up. And now we can make some changes to it as well. So within the edit area of the Contact Us, you'll see that we can actually drag around all of these fields and put them wherever we want. We can also add a new field. You can choose if you want a multiple choice question or a checkbox, a list. We're just going to do a single line. And we'd like to know how people found Zeek Designs. And let's go ahead and drag it right up above the message area here. We're also going to go to our settings, and you'll see that your form submissions are automatically sent to the email address you use to sign up with your account. This is the email address I created this account with, but if I needed to change it to another address, since I'm building the site for Zeek, I could easily change it to Zeek's email address. You can also change the message that your customers see once they submit a form submission. So this page looks great. We're going to go ahead and save our work again. And we're going to preview what we've done. So this is the Contact Us page that we just built. It looks good. And here's the home page that we created. Let's take a look and see if there's anything we missed. I see something. We can definitely use a little bit of space here. So let's go ahead and go back in. I hardly ever get to publish on the first preview. Definitely need to go to our margins here and add a little bit of spacing. Let's save that and preview it again and see what we think now. Hopefully this looks a little bit more like the example site I showed you in the beginning. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to go to the green button here on the right and publish my site. So you could select your custom domain at this time and check if it was available. So let's see if Zeek Design is available as a custom domain. So the zeekdesigns.com is not available. We'd have to keep looking, or our domain selector makes some other similar suggestions. Sometimes you have to keep looking for just the right domain name, and we actually have a blog post that gives you some great suggestions on how to pick a great domain name. But for our purposes, we'll go ahead and just publish to zeekdesigns.yolasite.com. That is available. Great, our site is published. Let's click this link and take a look at it. And there it is. Let's head back to our site builder. We can close this out, and then there's still some more things that we can do now that we're published. And since we've already published our site, you'd think that that was all that there was to do, but there's plenty more that we can do. We could look at our Facebook publishing, or we can configure our site, since we're using Yola Gold, for mobile publishing, which we're going to look at now. So if we published it for mobile at this moment, this is exactly what it would look like. It shows you a great preview. But we want to make sure that we are using that same great orange color that we use throughout our site, so we're going to customize that now. And now that ties in our background color with the rest of our site. And you can see this gives mobile customers a much easier way to locate us when they're looking for us on their phones. You can also remove the phone number up here, but we want our customers to be able to find us, so we'll add that. Same for the map. We're going to go ahead and save this now. And now our customers can find us both online and on their mobile devices with ease. That concludes our presentation. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the questions that you guys have.